Warning: this podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. We are here.
We're here.
We're here.
We made it.
I don't know where we made it from, but we made it.
To here.
We're here. We're sick.
Yeah. It's in your chest.
It's in my chest, yeah.
It's in my body. I have the mold.
What is the mold? We don't have mold in our house.
No, but I have the mold.
A man cold.
The man cold.
He has the man cold and he's dying, and it's the same thing I have, and yet I've got my oil changed today.
I've worked today.
I know.
We have different symptoms.
Okay. We do have different symptoms, but you know we have the same thing. My name is Ashley, and welcome to Ghost Gossip.
My name's Daniel.
And he's going to try to speak up.
I'm going to try.
I've had two more people tell me how quiet you are.
Well, you know what, people? I'm trying here, okay?
He's gotten better.
Trying.
Don't get sassy. Oh, there's Luke. He's loud.
Yeah.
Don't get sassy with the people.
I'll get sassy with the people.
Don't get sassy.
The people want to get sassy with me. I'll get sassy.
They just want to hear your voice.
Well, I mean, I understand. I'm sultry.
Sultry.
And sometimes salty.
You are salty. You're salty today because we're recording. We had blocked out this time to record because we don't have a lot of time together to do this.
Well, let's get to it.
We are. My phone's ringing. The county school's calling to tell me, Daisy, you didn't go to school today.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
So we have just gotten back from an epic weekend getaway
to Las Vegas, Nevada.
We went and celebrated my 40th birthday.
Happy birthday again.
Thank you. I know I'm officially out of birthday mode, but I appreciate the well wishes again.
You still have a couple more days.
No, because my daughter's birthday is next week. So I'm done celebrating in preparation for her birthday.
So you're already in preparation. Right?
I'm in preparation for the 13th birthday.
Speaking of which, I need to go get her a present.
You do, and you know what?
I know what I'm getting her.
Yes. You know what you're getting her.
Did you know what you were getting when you got me?
No. Wasn't prepared. So we went to Vegas. We did not see Twin Paranormal. I definitely kept my eyes open for them. I didn't see them.
I wouldn't have known them if they were talking to me.
No, you wouldn't.
No offense, but...
You never have seen them before. But yes, we did not see them. I was looking. But hopefully, maybe one day their people can reach out to my people, which is you.
Well, I think the people have already seen the teaser we did. So where did we go?
We went to Zak Bagan's Haunted Museum.
Zak Bagan's
Haunted Museum.
Ooh.
That place was weird.
It was cringy.
Cringy as in how do you mean by cringy?
Also not just cringy, but crunchy. Crunchy. Just I don't know. Not it was creepy, but not creepy. You know what I mean? So the only word that comes to mind is cringy, maybe a dirty hippie.
A dirty hippie?
Like a really dirty one. One with the BO funk. Not just a happy hippie.
Oh my gosh, you're just coming out swinging. We hadn't even gotten started.
I don't know. That's just how my mind works.
It was different.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was...
you've got hippies, right? They're a little weird, a little eccentric, but they're cool, they're mellow, and you kind of got a variety. But then you got those, crunchy...
I don't know what a crunchy hippie is, and I'm not insulting anybody today, so...
All right, we'll move on.
Yes. It was different.
It was very different.
It was different. So we went...
It's a huge house. I didn't realize how big it was.
13,000 square feet.
That's crazy.
So when I was doing my research for this episode, I looked up. I was like, okay, when was it open? It was open in 2017.
Okay.
I knew it wasn't super old, but I didn't realize it was 2017. So it's been there almost 10 years. 8 years.
Oh, the museum.
Yeah, the museum itself.
Was it operating as the law firm all the way up till then?
So it was
the bar?
It was built in 1938, and it belonged to a banker named, I looked up this name and actually put the pronunciation in there because I was like, I don't know how to say this name, but it's...
Ron Yugoslavia?
No, Cyril.
No.
Cyril Wingert. And he was a banker that lived in Vegas. So the museum itself is in the city, is one of the oldest houses actually in downtown Vegas, the city of Vegas. He opened it in 2017. Before that, it was the Nevada State Bar Association, which I didn't get a year on that. I can find that if you want me to dig that up right now.
No, it's good.
But the history of it is Cyril, who built the house for his family, him and his family lived there. And it is rumored that I think it's fact that he died in the house. And it is rumored that it remains haunted by the owner.
He's walking the halls.
He is walking the halls. He's hanging out still. But there's also rumors, Zak Bagan's had some texts from, I can't remember her name, an adult porn star, can't remember. We had to watch a video before we went in the basement, that there were rituals performed in the basement. And there used to be a pentagram in the basement.
Did that person's brother die? What was it? It was something with her brother.
I can't remember.
I can't remember
The thing about this museum, and we're just going to come right out. Like, I want to go kind of backtrack a little bit, but I want to first say there's so much to see in this museum. It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
And overstimulating.
Yes.
I think that it is done on purpose.
Yeah, I do too.
To throw you off. They talk about how many people pass out in there. And I think it's because you are so disoriented.
Yeah. From
the sights, the smells, like every sense that you have is overpowered by a smell, a sight, a light, or just stuff looking at you. But also, I think the floor is uneven.
You can't see the walls.
No, because they're painted black.
Well,
and there's stuff on them.
Yeah.
But just backtracking a little bit, we get there. Our Uber driver takes us to the back of the museum. The museum is huge. And it's not long as in right to left. It is long front to back.
Yeah.
So the Uber driver drops us off at the back. And there's 2 security guards back there, and they're doing their thing. They don't look very approachable, but they're nice guys. But my mom, bless her heart, who is the salt of the earth, she is just must protect her at all costs, decided late night while we were at a show that she wanted to come with us. So she's half asleep buying tickets for this haunted museum, and she puts her tickets under her grandmother name.
Bubby.
So she gives him his name, and he's looking at the tickets.
He's like, Bubby?
And you could tell he just loves his mom and grandma, because instantly when she's like, oh, that's what my grandkids call me.
Yeah, it was like as soon as he said it, like he knew that wasn't her name.
He just melted a little bit.
But it was like he had to say it out loud. He could read it, but he had to say it out loud for him.
And it was very sweet.
For it to click.
And then the other guy just kind of laughed and puttered off. And then Dad's like, well, my daughter's lived in a haunted house. This should be nothing. And then, of course, he starts asking me about my haunted house. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot. And he's like, you still live there? I'm like, no, we moved, but I love my house. But the thing to know about this, our appointment was from 11 to 12. We did not go in until like 11:30. They only allow a certain amount of people inside, and then they take them around. So it was just be prepared to stand a lot if you go. Let's just start off by saying that you're not going to sit for 2 hours.
Yeah, you're not sitting for 2 hours.
No. So you go in.
We didn't know that.
We had no idea. I honestly, when I think of museums, I think of a guided tour, but you're allowed to look.
Yeah.
I was not expecting what we got.
Yeah, you're kind of herded.
Yes. You're herded and left, and then herded and left, and then handed off, and then herded and left. I'm not speaking bad about the experience. It was one of a kind.
Yep. I will say I enjoyed the museum overall. I didn't like the process.
The process, I think, could be refined some.
Revamped is the word. Not even revised, or just completely rescripted.
I'm wondering if at one time he was there giving the tours more himself. So Zak Bagan is in the paranormal community. He is a huge name. He was Ghost Adventures host. It's one of the longest running paranormal shows on TV. I believe it's still going on to this day. He has artifacts from all over the world. People know Zak Bagan. In the haunted community, he is a researcher, an investigator. He is like the go-to person for artifacts. And you could tell he wanted to still, even though he's not there, he wanted to have some kind of hand in the tours. And so that's kind of what we mean by handed off. We were put in a room and a TV turned on. Yeah. So it was very different. I wasn't expecting that.
And it felt impersonal.
It did feel very impersonal.
And I don't want this to turn into a critique, but I also want to be upfront and honest and real.
We didn't know what to expect.
No, we didn't.
We didn't really look into it though either.
And we'll get into this more, but the artifacts, some of them are really, really cool.
There are some that are really cool, and there's others, they are unsettling.
Very unsettling.
Very unsettling, which I knew that. Yeah. The things that I have seen on YouTube were investigations more, but they had gone on a tour and talked to a tour guide. So I guess that's why in my mind, I expected more of a guided tour instead of an informal process. but it wasn't bad. I just wasn't expecting it.
And I would say too, it's kind of like two-part, right? So the process and, kind of the extra stuff, I guess you could say, all the decorations, right? That's
the artifacts?
Not the artifacts, just a lot of the stuff weren't just artifacts. They were just decoration.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess, yeah.
Not all the dolls were haunted.
How do you know?
You know what I mean? So,
how do you know?
So like that part to me felt more just kind of like a set,
right?
If that makes sense. But then there was also, you could tell from especially the credited verifiable artifacts, definitely a vibe.
Yes,
definitely a frequency. Like it. So that's what I mean by two-part. There's kind of some showmanship, I guess you could say, which I think I don't know much about Zak Bagan. I just kind of gathered that from his personality. There is some type of showmanship.
He's an entertainer,
right?
At the end of the day, he has a show. He's a host,
right? So there's that I think comes through in the whole experience.
Right.
And so whether or not you like that or not, I think you still have to give credit to his collection and really...
Oh, the collection's amazing.
And really, there's something to it.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
The collection itself, the amount of things that he has obtained over the years is
impressive.
It is very impressive. And the fact that he knows the history and he's investigated these things and he has met with all these people. And I mean, it is impressive. Whether you like the museum or not, or you like the paranormal or not, there is a level of respect there of just,
for sure.
Wow, like this one man has all of this stuff in 13,000 square feet and he has put it together.
Have you ever been to the Smithsonian?
Yes, years and years ago.
So it kind of reminded me of the Smithsonian, if this, like the haunted, creepy Smithsonian of, you know what I mean? That's kind of
the haunted version of the Smithsonian.
Yeah. So,
well, it was one of those things where I didn't know what to expect because all I had seen were YouTube shows on it.
And I had no idea.
You had no idea. My family, all 6 of us, my husband, my parents, my sister and her husband, they all came. And we went not knowing what to expect.
And you better turn off your phone, Chris.
Yes, Chris, turn your phone off. No phones are allowed, for straight up. They want you to turn them off. I put mine on airplane.
I turned mine off out of respect for you.
Thank you. I put mine on airplane because I didn't have Wi-Fi.
I knew you just put yours on airplane, but I said, you know what? This is my baby's birthday trip. I'm turning my phone off.
Aren't you sweet?
I am.
Well, my brother-in-law got fussed at.
Yes.
But
it's not allowed.
She wasn't going to close that door until
she was not playing. She was serious. She was for real, y'all.
She was very serious. She's all petite and just in that
and
old
Chris
matron.
is not a small guy.
No, Chris is not as big as Daniel, but he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's just like staring at this woman like, leave me alone. My brother-in-law and I are similar in the fact that we're both Scorpios. We're both sensitive. The difference between the two of us is I acknowledge it and he doesn't as much. He just kind of...
He's aware, but he just kind of...
He'll talk about it with me.
Sits it to the side.
But if I ask him to come on and tell his stories, he's going to tell me no.
Yeah.
So I just don't ask him. But he went because he is interested in this as well, but he just doesn't acknowledge it. So yes, my whole family came. My dad was very freaked out. I kept telling him it's a museum. It's a museum. It's just a museum because he thought it was a haunted house. Like I don't go to jump scare houses.
Well,
I don't
there was that.
Oh boy, yeah. We'll get to it. So we went in, and immediately you're met with monkeys with symbols and dolls, puppets,
lots
clowns.
Of dolls.
Like if you have any kind of phobia of a clown or a doll or a monkey.
Not the place for you.
Not the place.
Unless you want to face that fear.
No, not the place. 2 hours trapped, no phone, not the place to face your fears.
Either you're going to die or you're going to overcome.
There's no in between.
It is intense therapy for clown and doll phobias.
If you're also super religious and do not like anything to do with the occult, like
probably not for you.
Not for you. I didn't know what to expect, but they had a lot of things dealing with demonology and the occult and things like that. And I just wasn't expecting it. And so it kind of took me back a little bit, but it was interesting. Would I do it again? No, but it was interesting. I'm glad I did it to have it marked off my bucket list. I went.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'll be honest. I enjoyed it. Would I want to go back? No. Do I have some suggestions as far as?
Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, but overall, I enjoyed it.
At 40, I wanted to do things I've never done before. And I did. That's what this trip was about.
Yeah.
And we did them and I enjoyed it. So you come in and after they kind of go in through like the history of the house, which you're so overstimulated by everything going on. I cannot remember without looking up the history of the house what they said.
Yeah.
Because so much information is thrown at you right out the gate. And then you go in and they open a door. There's doors opening from everywhere. And you're in dolls. More dolls.
And fog machine smoke.
Fog, yes, lots of fog machines, lots of dolls. And then you go into another room. And it really was, because I couldn't take video, I couldn't take pictures, like I am trying to pull out of my memory bank what we went through. So we went through the opening of it. And you did the sacrifice, which you had to put a little dollar bill in a little fortune teller machine. And it said that if I don't scare you, then maybe the one that jumps out at you will. And that was kind of foreshadowing.
And it had a clown face on it.
Yes, and it was foreshadowing because Daniel had a clown jump out at him. And my sister had a clown jump out at her. And I looked at her like, what is your problem?
We had gone through 2/3 of this thing and
Nothing had jumped out.
There was no jump scare.
Nothing had jumped
like
out.
that. And I was like, okay.
We're good.
And Ashley was actually in front of me.
I said, oh,
and
hell no.
She's like, get in front of me. And about 5 steps after that, a torso of a clown jumps out of a wall that I didn't see at all.
You just rhymed.
I didn't see it. And I'm literally,
You didn't see it at the time, but you turned down a dime.
it was to my left and I was completely perpendicular to the wall.
Yes.
So, and it
came out at you. And then my sister,
there was
turned.
a big pucker factor.
We we turned the next wall, and I mean, this thing didn't jump out at me at all. And I got by, and it jumped out at my sister, and she like cowered down to the floor. And she said, I looked at her like, what is your problem? What are you doing? Because I didn't see it. It was so dark, and there was so much fog.
I didn't see it.
I saw yours jump out at you, and all I was thinking was, thank God I sent him first, because I've had a child. I probably would have peed my pants.
I'm surprised I didn't lose bodily function control. I haven't been that scared in a while.
It was dark, and we're talking about demons
And I wasn't even paying attention. No. Like I was completely like.
I've been in there an hour and a half, and nothing had jumped out at us.
So it was completely guard down.
And it jumped out of the
corner. Oh, my guard was back up after that. I'll tell you what.
My brother-in-law said he had his fist balled up, ready to punch something. He would have too.
Yeah.
He used to be a MMA fighter. He did that before he got married to my sister, and so he would have knocked the crap out of somebody. And then my poor dad, I had told him, "There's no jump scares. There's no jump scares. It's okay." And my dad is standing behind my sister, and he sees this, and I could feel him looking at me like, you told me.
You lie.
You liar. You sit on a throne of lies. I had no idea. I wasn't ready. But
it's funny now.
It was funny.
It was funny
we
then.
We laughed. Yeah, we did laugh, but we weren't expecting it. That was probably my least favorite part because I don't do jump scares. My kids scare me enough. We're all jumpy after living in a haunted house. All of us get a little jumpy, and they scare each other on a regular basis. And so the kids will wait for me around the corner, and they always try to get me. And I usually like make a noise.
I can usually get you pretty good.
Sometimes you do, yeah, but I get you too.
Every now and then.
Every now and again, I'll get them. But
so, what was your favorite part?
Oh, my favorite part of the museum was the true crime section.
Mine too.
Now, what we mean by that is there is a exhibit room in the house that is dedicated to serial killers. We're talking Richard Ramirez, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, Charles Manson. Oh, there was some more. Samuel Little.
And it's not just serial killers. It's criminal. There's some criminal stuff like El Chapo's boots. I don't know if you saw those.
I didn't see El Chapo's boots.
El Chapo's boots were in the case right when you walk in on the top shelf in the glass case on the left.
I didn't see those.
Yeah.
But we're talking about, my vast knowledge of serial killers.
Oh, yeah.
And so I walked in that room and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
These are all the guys I've...
Yeah, the Night Stalker, Son of Sam.
Yes, Son of Sam, Sam Little. Sam Little flew under the radar for years.
What, like 3 decades, 4 decades?
Sam Little, I think 3 decades before. And
he was probably pushing 40 years, though.
He might have been. He was so prolific. He's at 90-something victims from what they know.
Which I'm sure is double that.
It might be. the 70s were wild.
Yeah.
Because most of these guys that he had in his cases were in the 70s.
And we talked about that, I think, later that day.
We did.
Back in the 60s and 70s, agencies
didn't communicate.
From one jurisdiction to the other didn't talk to one another. The FBI didn't talk to,
no.
other field offices.
If you weren't in their jurisdiction, they didn't talk to you. And it wasn't until later.
Yeah.
Really, I don't know if this is completely accurate, but I do remember learning about this. When Ted Bundy went on the run, they communicated more because he went from, I think, Washington, and I could be wrong because I have not pulled out my Ted Bundy information in my head in a long time, but he went down the coast, the West Coast, and then over to Florida, and he was caught in Florida. And so when he went across, that is like the most they communicated.
Well, and I think because that's when profiling, probably the mid 70s.
Right. John Douglas came.
So profiling
right.
started, they were pulling cases from all over the country to try to get.
But that was after. So Ted Bundy was already.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was the 80s.
But that's when I think that's when there was more of a push to actually get agencies to work together.
But still to this day, being that I worked in government as long as I did, still to this day, there's jurisdictions that just neighbor each other, the counties, and they suck at communicating because they're like territorial.
Even city to county.
Yes. Oh, yes. That I know.
So.
Yes, that I know. Like, stop it right now. It's okay to communicate. Nobody. No. But anyway.
Back to the exhibit.
But anyway, yes, that exhibit was, I could have stayed in there for so long.
Manson.
Oh, I don't like Charles Manson. He has always given me a heebie-jeebie vibe. What was it? His hair?
They had a locket of his hair.
Hair.
They had
his ashes and his teeth.
Yeah, and they had a couple of his drawings.
Blood drawings. Drawings that he drew from his blood.
They also had the gown he was wearing.
Yes, when he died.
And there was still bodily fluids on it.
Uh-huh. So, and then
it's
Samuel.
Like framed.
Yes. Samuel Little, they had his drawings that he painted and drew of his victims. Yep. John Wayne Gacy, they had his last pack of cigarettes that he gave to his stepdaughter. Was it his stepdaughter or his daughter?
Yep, stepdaughter.
They had some Polaroid pictures of him and his family. They had the drawings of the clowns because he was a clown.
They had letters.
Yeah.
That he had written to his stepdaughter, and like it was like letters like a dad would write to a daughter.
Well, he was a dad.
He was a family man. As crazy as that sounds,
Well, Richard Ramirez, his wife married him after he was convicted. She married him after knowing that he was a murderer. She could change him, I guess. And she's the one that sent Zak Bagan his ashes.
Yeah.
There's a term for women that seek out men who are in prison, and I cannot remember that word, but there is a term. That blows my mind. Like,
who else was in there?
Lives in a gated community, not the one you want to be in.
Who else was in? They have stuff in that room from.
I can't even.
That was my favorite part.
That was my favorite
because it was like you watch stories.
Well, that is something. Yes, I've known.
But you're literally looking at things that those people touched or is part of them in the
Ted
case
Bundy's murder kit.
His
ski mask.
His ski mask, the brown one with the tan one with the brown line. Like you've seen that in recreations, you've seen that in documentaries. You've seen it. But now you're looking at the one that was literally on his head when he committed those crimes.
Or seeing the box that Richard Ramirez's body is in. Yeah. In ash form, but it's there, like in front of you. It's there, and it's creepy. Yeah. He was a scary mother trucker. That I don't know if you know a lot about him. He was horrific.
The other room that I liked was the one that had like Patrick Swayze's tooth.
Yes.
Robin Williams' jacket from What Dreams May Come.
Bruce Lee's son. They had his jacket that
from The Crow.
Yes. Yep. And then they had Michael Jackson's chair that was from his room that the doctor was sitting in.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yep. They had, and then
2 costumes.
What was that other guy's name? They had his outfit that he wore when he overdosed. It was one of the first ones you came in. It was.
What
was his name? He was a writer.
He was an author. I can't remember what his name was. And then they had the dress from
Sharon
Lee. No,
Tate.
Sharon Tate. It was the dress she was.
It was her wedding dress.
Her wedding dress, and she was Manson's victim. That's where the murders took place.
She was
in her
pregnant
house.
when she was murdered.
Yep.
And then they had James Dean's axle.
Not his axle, his transaxle.
Transaxle. It's probably very different. In my mind, it is the same. But so they had that from the car that he died in.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that the car had never been found.
Yeah, that's
the actual car.
That's the only thing of the car that they've been able to find.
Go figure. Who knew? I didn't know that.
But they called the car Little Bastard. Is that what they called it?
Little Bastard. I think so.
Because people that had transported it,
something always happened to them.
Like 2 or 3 people
died.
that had transported it died on different occasions throughout the years, and finally a car went missing, but they were able to
track down this transaxle.
Yep, and they were able to verify it by Porsche through the serial number.
Yep, by the part number.
And so that documentation is with it, and it's in a display.
You know what I wasn't a huge fan of? The rooms towards the end.
Like dioramas with the clowns and the circus. And,
I didn't like that room either. Mm-mm. But the rooms that we were put in with, what is the actress that died on the boat? Natalie Wood.
Yes.
We were kind of put in that room and left for a little while. I didn't like that. That was a weird feeling room. But so there was that room, and they were all kind of there together. They were all very dark. Natalie Wood's room wasn't as dark, but then you had the Indiana Demon House room.
And then you had the Demon House room.
I just learned about that Demon House. And so Zak Bagan bought that house in 2014, I believe, and researched it for 2 years. And then decided there's nothing he can do about that house. His camera people, his production staff, they were attacking each other. They were acting funny. He tore that bitch down.
But he brought the stairs. Going down to the basement and some of the actual dirt.
Yep, it's in there. And that felt so weird. I didn't feel anything in that building. I was very lightheaded and disoriented a few times, but I think it's because of the sounds and the smells and the uneven floor. But that room gave me the worst ick vibe. I wanted out of there. I don't like how they closed you in there. I wanted out.
It felt greasy.
I did not like it. I did not like the room. It was down there. It wasn't where the devil's rocking chair was, but it was next to it where that woman who was doing the EVPs listening to the radio waves.
Yeah.
I hated that room. Hated that room. Hated it. Wanted out. Didn't want to be in there. That was, my favorite was the serial killer room, which that sounds horrible, but that was the most...
We love our serial killers.
We are fascinated by them serial killers. But that room was the most fascinating to me.
Yeah, it was to me as well. I didn't, we went down to the basement.
That was weird.
The biggest thing I took away from the basement, I thought the architecture was really cool with the basement.
It was unlike our basement.
Yes. Nice arches, nice brick and stone arches.
The arches were great, lovely. I did not like the basement. So the basement, when the house was the Nevada Bar Association, they refused to go to the basement to get the files, and they would not go alone.
They couldn't go anywhere in the...
No, they wouldn't go anywhere in the house alone.
There was a buddy system.
There was a buddy system. And so they would have to be with somebody each time. And so I was reading on the website, when Zak Bagan bought this house and was remodeling it or doing the exhibits, a construction crew actually ran out of there and never came back because of something. Now, we did not experience anything while we were there.
No.
We didn't feel anything. I just got cold chills. Of course I did. The demon room, the Indiana Demon House room was probably the most ick that I felt. But, Peggy the Doll, she said that spirit box, while we were in there, they say hello and goodbye. Make sure you say hello and goodbye. Of course, Daniel being
I did not talk to Peggy.
No, I did. We all did except Daniel. Dad said he didn't say goodbye, and I was like, Dad, no. But she said, I'm excited or something through the spirit box. I can't remember exactly what it was. But when we left there, we were all kind of like in a daze, like exhausted.
We were tired. Our feet were tired.
But that night, my brother-in-law was in the hotel room. And it was like 2-something in the morning, almost 3 o'clock in the morning. And he got woken up because he heard chanting outside of his room. He got up and looked out the window, and he said he didn't see a soul out on the strip. Like, he didn't see anybody. He went and looked out in the hall. He didn't see anything, but he could hear this chanting. So he asked me the next day, since I'm sensitive as well, did you have anything happen? I was like, no, not really. That day, after he asked me, Daniel was in the shower, standing right next to me. And the music that they played through the speakers, I could hear that music while you showered. And I looked at you because I was like, is Daniel doing something that would create that same kind of chant? And you weren't. You were rinsing your head off.
Yeah.
And so while he was showering, I heard that same dark, almost chant. But then we came home.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what day did we get home? Sunday?
We got home Sunday, and both of us.
So Sunday night, Monday night, and
today is Thursday.
Every night this week.
Yes,
and
me too.
They've progressively gotten less.
Right.
But Sunday night was intense.
Yes, Sunday night we both had nightmares Sunday night after we got home.
I mean, I literally Monday when I went to work, I wrote out my dream.
Yes, I did not write out my dream, but I still remember my dream, but his was bothered him so much he wrote his out.
I felt when I got up Monday morning, I was completely freaked out. I don't think I've ever had a dream that was that.
You haven't even told me what it was about.
Vivid. It was just it didn't make me feel right. So
yes, mine either. Mine was horrific.
So
I haven't had a dream that dark in a very long time.
And that's the thing with mine. It wasn't that it was necessarily that dark or scary.
Mine was violently dark.
See, mine wasn't. It was just when I woke up, and I was interacting with the dream the whole time.
It was a lucid dream.
I was lucid dreaming, but when I woke up, I just had this like unsettled feel. I mean, at one point in the morning, I felt nauseous.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it really wasn't until I ate lunch Monday that my nerves started to settle down. And then every night this week I've had very vivid dreams, and they've kind of just tapered off every night.
Lisa, our tour guide, did say people are known to have nightmares after they leave there. People are known to pass out, hallucinate, and have nightmares, and we have had nightmares.
Yep.
And that has been probably the biggest thing that we've noticed. Because
personally,
we didn't experience any kind of poltergeist activity while we were there. We didn't really feel anything. My brother-in-law,
brother-in-law.
Yeah, that guy and I did not sense anything. And us being very sensitive, we did not sense anything, like anything, except the demon room was just kind of like ick.
Yeah.
But I went in with zero expectations because I just wanted to go just to do something new. But after leaving, I have felt like with the chanting and him hearing the chanting and then us both having nightmares, that has been the biggest, like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And like nothing else has happened. It's just been that like mental thing. It's been a mental.
Was it because we traveled? Was it lack of sleep? Sure, maybe.
Was it the overstimulation of the smells and the sounds and the lights? I'm just so glad you didn't have any kind of reaction because we weren't expecting what we got.
So it wasn't bad. I'm not sensitive.
No, to flashing lights or anything. But still, I mean, it was still overwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, and Vegas is overwhelming stimulus either. I mean, too. So,
yeah.
Could it be attributed to travel, lack of sleep? Sure.
Yeah. But jet lag. Yeah. It was weird. The intensity.
That dream that I had Sunday was nothing like I've ever experienced before.
Yeah. Mine either, because usually I'm not a gore person. My dream was gory. Mine was gory. Like, I don't even feel comfortable talking about it. And even though I list my podcast as explicit, even though we don't cuss a whole lot, we don't talk about anything horrible.
Yeah.
I list it as explicit just because we are talking about death and ghost and paranormal. And it might be upsetting to some listeners. But like my dream was like watching a horror movie. Yeah, and I don't watch horror movies.
And one of the reasons I wanted to write it down was so I got it out and I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, well, I haven't thought about mine until just now.
Yeah, me
But
either.
I remember all of it.
Yeah.
It was wild. And I've had intense dreams every single night since we've gotten back. And I haven't asked my brother-in-law or my sister if they've had any nightmares. And my mom, of course, I haven't asked because she's preoccupied. But that has been, I think, the thing that I wanted to tell people the most. Like after visiting, we have had nightmares, which is something that's common after visitors leave the museum, which I thought was interesting. And it didn't happen right away.
No.
It happened days later.
Yep, once we got back home.
Y'all, I was so on edge when I got home. I was so tired because we had a smooth flight. Thank God we got back. Nothing happened with our flight, and I'm here sitting by myself, still recovering, sitting in the house with the animals. The kids are at school, Daniel's at work, and the baby gate, our metal baby gate, slams shut. Like slams so hard it sounds like somebody just slammed a door. I'm home alone. I go and get Mavis, my black cat, and I'm like, oh, heifer, you coming to fight a demon with me today? The dogs are like looking like, oh God, what was that? And it was our other cat, Leo. He had snuck inside and tried to jump the gate and kicked it.
And Leo's a big boy.
Leo's probably 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And he slammed that gate shut like a grown man who pays bills in this house. Who's had a bad day. It scares me so bad. I was on edge. But yes, that was our experience with the Zak Bagan.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend people going.
Do some research first.
But I would also, just have a realistic expectation.
Yes. If you love like artifacts, kind of like Daniel and I do, and like learning about stuff, I absolutely recommend it. It is an experience. Do the not the VIP, the RIP tour, so you can go in the other places. And
you get a t-shirt.
So, but just know that it's not exactly, and I think that's probably what they want. They don't want it to be what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because it is nothing like you have ever imagined. And it is almost like circus-like.
Yeah.
And it is a show.
Yeah.
But we did it.
Yeah. And I would recommend
if you're into this stuff, do it.
Even if you're not, it's just something fun to do.
It is fun. But if you are super, super easily offended or super religious and
or just a complete scaredy cat.
Yes. And have deep phobias that you might die of a clown attack, don't go in there.
Yeah.
Because everything is looking at you. My other favorite part was when they said, look at this stuffed turkey. And we all turn around and we're looking at this ugly stuffed turkey. And then the wall opens and that guy about peed his pants.
Yes, he did.
That was so
Watch
funny.
out for the turkeys.
Yes, if they say look at the turkey, don't lean down to look at the turkey because they are about to scare you.
Yep. But yeah, it was a fun time.
It was fun. Vegas, this was one of the best trips we've had to Vegas. We did a lot of new things. We ate a lot of steak.
Yes.
But it was so much fun. The only other fun trip that I would say that I've had more fun with Vegas was when we eloped to Vegas.
Yep.
And if y'all want to hear that story, we can make a special episode just of that because we love telling people about our eloping to Vegas to get married overnight. That was the best trip to Vegas. But this was pretty close. I felt great. I felt like I looked great. Other than one night my mind got to me a little bit. It was that same day.
You look great, baby.
Thank you.
You're beautiful.
I felt fat. I had a lot of steak, we didn't drink too much, but still just flying. I was bloated. It was hot and then I was cold.
You looked hot.
Thank you. If y'all want to see my outfits, go check out my TikTok. I have some pictures of my outfits on there. I felt beautiful.
Definitely give us a like.
Yes, give us a like, give us a follow. Tell Daniel to speak up. Keep telling me. He's working on it. He's doing good.
I'm a work in progress.
He's compared to when we started. We have come leaps and bounds with sound and recording, and we are working on it.
Yeah.
And so something you have to understand is Daniel, this is not his thing. This is my thing that he does with me because he knows I love it. And this is something he does with me. So he not begrudgingly does it with me, but he does it and he's here. And so the fact that he's trying makes me feel very special and loved. And I know we all recognize that Daniel has gotten better.
Good. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So y'all give me a thumbs up this week.
Give him a thumbs up. He is trying. And I am watching I also have the screen turned so he can see it. He's much louder than he normally is.
And I don't even watch it. The screen. Do. I know you do. You're like,
I'm like cross-eyed. I have one eye that way and one eye on you. I'm like, which way am I looking?
I never know.
I'm not really cross-eyed. But anyway, thank you for listening. Go check it out. Go check out Zak Bagan's. If Lisa's there, tell Lisa I said hello, even though she won't know who I am. And just, y'all, go have fun. Go experience something you've never experienced. Don't wait till you're 40 to do it. Just go do it.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Well, until next time, they'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Smoked a pack of Pall Malls.
Well, that's what happens when we have 3 kids in school. It's like
you smoke Pall Malls?
No, it's like we lick Petri dishes and we get sick every time they get sick.